Welcome to Stay
And Slay.
with Mel.
And Chrissy. And Susan. Susan's back.
Susan's back, you guys. She has been gone for a while, low-key.
She has been. Well, in the last pod, she was on the floor, and only real ones would probably have noticed her.
Yeah. So she's hung up on the wall
We got
now.
her hung.
We got her hung. Guess home.
That's today's topic. We wanted to talk about self-sabotage because we feel like it's pretty relevant for both of us.
Yeah.
And I personally believe that if you have anxiety, your self-sabotaging is like 100
much worse.
times worse.
So much
Because
worse.
it's just all those intrusive thoughts and like constant worrying and like it makes it like a lot harder to not self-sabotage.
Yeah.
But I feel like, for me anyway, I've noticed, because I've tried to like, I'm always trying to work on myself.
Yeah.
Find places where I can improve. And lately I've just been like noticing that whenever something good comes to me, I think it's just going to leave.
Yeah.
So I kind
Me
of
too.
self-sabotage it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I just sit there and worry about it leaving instead of enjoying it while it's here. And then it's gone.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's for me, like where self-sabotage is very like relevant and something I want to focus on right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think, like, for me, too, when good things, like, for example, last month was a really good month for me. Like, so many good things came into my life and good changes. And then I feel like this month, things are still good, but I personally, like, my everyday to day, it's not, feeling
Yeah.
as good as it did last month. And I still have these great things, but it's like, then my anxiety makes me think like, see, that's why I'm like, I don't even want to get excited when something good comes into my life or whatever,
right.
because it's just gonna go away or it's not gonna be good anymore or whatever. And it's like, it's just so easy to let those negative thoughts like take over your brain.
Take over, yeah. And like I'm one to like believe in like manifesting and like what
Yeah,
you put out is
me
what
too.
you get. And like, so when I think about self-sabotage, I kind of think of it as like when something good happens and I'm having all these like, oh, this isn't gonna stick, like it never stays, like just those negative thoughts kind of manifest it to not work out.
Yeah.
So of course, good things do leave my life because I don't really sit there and be present with them and like be excited for myself or like even think like I'm so deserving of all these good things, But that's the thing, we're all worthy of good things.
Yeah.
And we can't let those negative thoughts like overpower us because then it ruins those good things.
Yeah.
And it's so silly and it's a silly cycle.
I think another thing with self-sabotage, at least for me, is like if someone like good comes into my life, I've been done dirty so many times that I'm just like very skeptical. And I think that is a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Because obviously, turns out there's been people that, okay, good thing I was skeptical about them. Mm-hmm. But then there's other people where it's like, it's people that I really care about, like, oh, they'll do something small. And in my head, I'm just like, okay, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with it anymore. Because that's like, I don't know. That's just the way my brain works. And that's my immediate thought because I just want to like have complete peace in my life.
Yeah, and
that's not
right.
That's not how it's going to be all the time, and life is a roller coaster and it's hard. And if you're going to run away from, like your problems, you're not going to be able to get through them.
Exactly.
And I think that's the thing with self-sabotage. It's like you need to kind of realize what you're doing, because if you keep ruining like these good things, nothing good is going to come for you. Like, you need to be open to accepting the good things that are coming to you, like you said earlier.
Those are things that you are deserving of. And, like, what I would like to fix is just almost my reaction.
Yes.
Instead of being like, oh, I'm not good enough for this, or, oh, like, whatever the thought is, like, no, like, I need to think, oh, of course I deserve whatever it is, this awesome opportunity, this really awesome person in my life, like whatever it is, instead of being like, oh, like, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough. Like, no,
Yeah.
I do the work on myself, so of course good things are gonna come for me because I'm working on that.
Yeah.
So it's just like almost like focusing on your mindset and like shifting, like eliminating your self-doubt and fear
Yeah.
around those things. Because even though like in the past, like all these bad things happen or nothing sticks or like whatever it is that you're scared of,
Yeah.
you can't let that ruin what's right in front of you.
Yeah, exactly. And you just have to like live presently in the
Right.
moment.
Right. And it's practice.
And I do think like I said earlier when I had like some really good things in my life, I think I was very present in that moment and I'm proud of myself for that because I normally would not be. But I was like I don't want to live like that anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the way to go. And it's so much easier said than done, obviously. I think it takes a lot of work to like deal with the self-sabotage because also it is just like
It
anxiety at the
is,
end
and
of the
it
day.
sucks.
It does suck. And like I even think back to high school and we've kind of said this in our anxiety episode, but like I think my anxiety became a form of self-sabotage because every day before high school, I would just feel so sick. Like I had to either throw up in the morning or like skip my first period. Like I don't know why, but this anxiety in my head told me like if I skip first period, then I'll feel fine to go to school.
Yeah.
And it obviously I can't skip a class every day, you know, but like I don't know. It just became this thing where like every night I would go to bed and I was like, oh my God, I have to get up. I have to go to school. Like I would just be freaking out and it would like, it ruined my life. Like it would
Yeah.
ruin my life. And I don't know. I think like all you can really do is kind of learn like what it means for you, kind of the self-sabotage.
And also like with anxiety, because it definitely makes it harder.
Yeah.
You kind of have to learn like what you are thinking versus like what is it your anxiety telling you.
Yeah.
And like figuring out the difference between those two things.
Yeah.
And what's really hard about it all is you're always gonna naturally like think, well, what if this? What if that? And it's like we have to like squash those what ifs, like get rid of them. Like those need to be gone.
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
I think a good way I've kind of learned to like deal with it is just understanding that I'm going to be okay. And I think sometimes self-sabotage comes from a place of like everyone goes through their own thing in life. I think some people maybe they have like unresolved trauma that led them to think that way. And okay, then maybe you need to go to therapy or something or talk to
Right.
someone and like learn why your reactions are the way they are. But then for people like us where it's more kind of like centered because of anxiety, I think a lot of that is like in your mind and you need to like take the time to like a big thing for me was like reading books too.
Yeah.
Like I would read a lot of like
Self-help books.
self-help books
Yeah.
or like journal/books where you
Yeah.
can kind of like write in them and
Reflect.
stuff too. I think that helped me a lot because it's a good way to just like literally put everything in your brain.
And like
Out.
I've been recently Spotify like just got audiobooks.
Yes.
And I've been listening to those
Yeah.
like in the morning when I'm like getting ready or like whatever it
Yeah.
is. So like or if I go on a walk I'll listen to that. Or like even podcasts. Like there's so many podcasts out there that can help you like reflect in yourself and learn things about
Yeah.
yourself or just learn things about life lessons in general and
Yeah.
like really grow in that area. And I feel like that's where I got triggered to want to talk about this because I was one of them were talking about like eliminating self-doubt and fear and I was
Yeah.
like, wait, I do that. Like that's literally me. Like that I think that's like the step that I'm at right now where like I need to not doubt something good that's coming for me anymore.
Yeah.
Like no, I'm so worthy of that and like I deserve that. Like I
Yeah.
need to stop thinking I'm not good enough for things.
Exactly. Do you think like did you learn anything from that book, do you think?
You need yes, like some ways to like get better.
Yeah.
Like how to
How to
stop
deal.
the self-sabotaging.
And I really, I don't want to like say stop kind of, because I don't think it ever stops in a way. But I think you can, there's so many ways to like cope with
Like
it.
cope with it.
Yeah.
I feel like a big one is just catching yourself in the moments of doubting yourself or doing the negative self-talk and just catching yourself and fixing it
Yeah.
instead of being like ugh, like I have to go do this.
Right.
I get to do this. Like I
Yeah.
get to go do this. Or like when you're not feeling good enough, like catch yourself and stop it and
Yeah.
just think, no, I am good enough. Like everything happens for a reason. Of course, like this is happening for me right
Yeah.
now. Like just catching yourself in those negative self-talk moments and translating it to a positive self-talk moment is huge, and just really being mindful all
Yeah.
the time. Like, because your subconscious can be so naturally negative,
Yeah.
especially in
Mine
like
is.
today's world and society, like
Yeah.
even without the intrusive thoughts and anxiety, like it's
The
so
internet,
right,
social
it's so
media.
easy to be so negative all the time.
Yeah.
So just really being mindful of your thoughts 24/7 and being positive to like fix those.
Yeah.
And I feel like another one can just be like me and you have the affirmations app on our phone.
Yeah.
Like affirmations are huge,
I
even
think
though they're
that has
cheesy and
changed.
weird, like they actually like work.
I
Like
I think that's kind of changed me a lot because so first of all, the app that we have, you can actually like make it a widget on your lock screen, which is what we both have. So pretty much every time you open your phone, it's like a new I am quote
affirmation, and
affirmation.
I find
And
myself reading it without realizing I'm reading it
well,
all the
yeah,
time.
because you're subconsciously reading it.
Yeah.
So you're repeating it in your head. And I think that just helped me a lot because my subconscious does not give me good thoughts. And it's has not been that way for most of my life. So I kind of feel I have to work a little harder to like be happy in my own head. And I feel like a lot of people relate to
That's
that.
so relatable. Like
Yeah.
that was beautifully said too. Like
Yeah,
that
it's
is
I mean,
relatable.
when I find myself like going through something or I'm upset, it's so easy for me to just be like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. I don't want to deal with this. Like, I just want to disappear. Like, those are just the thoughts that come to my head. But I'm like, no, like, I don't actually want that. I don't actually,
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
I feel like people need to always be so aware of their head at all times.
Yeah.
Like find like practices every day that you can do to help yourself be more mindful. Whether that's like going for a walk every single day.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
think. Or,
Walks are so helpful for me.
I was watching Katy Perry on Call Her Daddy,
Oh, yeah,
and
she was
she
good.
said at the end of the episode, Alex was like, "What's something you like want to tell the people?" She was like, "Meditation. There's a
Yeah.
reason why it's still around. Like it works."
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've been listening to like meditation music while I fall asleep.
Yeah.
And I feel like I sleep better, and like I wake up like happier.
I used to do that too, yeah.
Yeah, and like I used to do it in COVID too, but I started like leaving my body when I was asleep.
Yeah.
And it was terrifying, so I stopped.
Yeah.
But I wake up like happier now when I do that. And like they even have like affirmation ones or like guided meditation. Like
Yeah.
there's so much things you can do there. Or go to the gym or talk to a friend or journal. Like journaling's a good one too. Like
Yeah.
just always like when you have like good thoughts, like write those down. Like
Yeah.
or I love
Or go in the mirror and say them to yourself.
Yes.
Like
I used to like write on my wrist in high school like what I wanted to believe,
Yeah.
like good things are coming or like whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, just like remind yourself like who you are. Become more like confident in yourself, I feel like is a big one. Like take the time to feel so good about like who you are and like you're comfortable to be you.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing with this too is it can be so many underlying things, and it's the same with like depression and anxiety. I feel like all these like mental illnesses, the way that it really helped me understand it was like I've said this before, but envisioning like you have like another person in your head. And that's how I always would describe it to my family, like with my anxiety. I'm like, I feel like I'm like fighting in my own head. And I know so many people that struggle with mental illness could relate to that. And it's like, you need to figure out what's going to work for you. If it's talking to yourself in the mirror, doing the guided
Right.
meditations, like whatever. Guided meditations would always help me. And like, in college a lot, I would get so stressed and I would lay out, or if I didn't have a yoga mat, but sometimes I'd lay out a yoga mat and just like lay on my floor and do a guided meditation. I'd like put it on my TV on Spotify
Yeah.
and just do that. And after, I would feel so much better. Like, it can be 5 minutes if you don't have time, like, but sometimes do 20. Like, it'll make
Yeah.
you feel better. But I don't know. I think there's so many ways to cope in the moment. I think overall, like, it's hard. It's a hard thing to get rid of because it is in your head.
Right. It's a never ending, like, thing that you have to work on.
Yeah.
Forever. Probably for our whole lives.
Yeah.
We'll have to deal with that.
But I think the first step is like being able to acknowledge that
Right.
you're struggling with these thoughts, because everybody does. And I think you texted me the other day and you were like, I feel like I'm not appreciated by anyone and whatever, and I'm
That's not what
doing
I
all
said,
these
but
things.
yeah.
Well, something like that. And I was like, no, I totally relate.
I think it
Like,
was more along the lines like there's so much going on and I
Yeah.
can't like please everybody at the same time
Yes.
almost, or like I just don't have enough time to like finish the pod and write my lesson plans and do this and that around the house and
Yeah.
like walk my dog, take care of me.
Yeah.
Like putting myself on a back burner just to like get all my work done and help everyone else out. And then I don't get to go to the gym that week. So it's
Right.
like I think like that's like where it's frustrating, you know?
Yeah. It's like we get so busy in our own lives, and it kind of feels like especially this week I was very busy with like work and, personal life, and I just feel like I've been putting so much of my effort and energy and time into things for other people. And like, don't get us wrong, we love
We
this
love-
podcast.
like, we
this
love
is our
it.
baby, but like,
And like helping others in general.
Of
Like of
course.
course we want to be there for everybody.
but it gets to a point sometimes where like you feel so stretched thin, and you have to like put taking care of yourself on a back burner, and that can just become really exhausting, especially when you're not hearing from people like, I see the effort and the work you're doing. Thank you.
yeah.
Just something so simple sometimes can go a long way. And I actually want to share this story.
Yeah, do it.
I went to Charlottesville this week for work, and I had gone into the office on Monday, so I was just not having a good day. I was really stressed. I knew I was gonna have a stressful work week on top of traveling, and I was not in a good mood, whatever. I get on the plane, and this flight attendant, he's kind of staring at me. And he's like, you have the most beautiful face I've ever seen. And I was like, oh my
seen.
God. I was like, stop. I literally was like, stop. And he was like, no, period. I was like, thank you. You just made my day. And then the guy in front of me, he was older, probably like a dad or something. He turned around and he was like, that was so cool. Like, it's good to share kindness. He's like, we don't have enough of it these days.
Aw, it's so sweet.
And I was like, yeah. And I think
What a wholesome moment.
it was a wholesome moment. And honestly, I spend a lot of time with like strangers, and I just talked to so many random people.
I love meeting people.
And it's cool to I just think everyone has their own thing, and that flight attendant made my day a little better. And like,
It's the little things.
yeah, just that nice comment went a long way. So I don't know. I just think it's okay to like talk to random people. It's okay to open up, like, especially on my flights. I've talked to so many random people, and I've like shared really traumatic stories, like, because
Yeah.
people have opened up to me, and it's like, wow, like, how crazy is it that I'm in this moment on this plane in this seat, and this person next to me is also here in this moment in this seat. And we were meant to be here to have this conversation that would like change me and make me feel better, you know?
Yeah, and that's like everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, don't even tell me it doesn't.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Honestly, I think that is something that could make you feel better too. Like, if you're in your head, go for a walk. And next time, if you ignore all the strangers on the street, just give them a little smile.
Just a smile, yeah.
Just smile. Just say hi. Like,
You
people
never
are
know.
walking their dog. Be like, your dog's so cute. Like, I don't know. I used to really ignore strangers, but now that I travel a lot by myself, I've become very, like, used to just talking to people. And I think it makes me feel better as a person to, like, I don't know, just like tell people I like their shirt, tell people I like their outfit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just think seeing reactions like that makes you feel better sometimes too.
Right. And I feel like it all really comes down to like, you never should like set yourself aside because you want others to be happy. Like I was saying, what I think it really comes down to with that is to make sure you're not setting yourself aside to like take care of everybody else and like make others feel good.
Yeah.
Even if that does make you feel better.
Yeah.
But make sure you're filling your own cup and taking care of you first so you can say those things to
Right.
other people and like, you know, so your cup is overflowing for the people around you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, because I think that could be a form of self-sabotage if you're not taking care of yourself first.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I very easily set myself aside.
Me too, yeah. I do all the time.
Just to like get my work done, do the pod, like do all these things I need to do, like, you know, see friends. Like I never want to say no because like I love those people. I want to be around them, but like
yeah.
I need to take care of myself at the same time. So I can really like be there, you know?
Right. Like you're not going to be ever, you know, fully present if you're not present in your own mind.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like it's put yourself first and take care of yourself season.
yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are on that like trend right now where they're like gonna focus on themselves and like take care of themselves first right now.
It's healthy girl fall.
Like I feel like a lot of my friends are like reading books and like journaling and doing all the things.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
I know.
Like I love it.
I love it. What's next?
Hot girl fall.
Hot girl fall.
Hot girl fall. If you can't tell, me and Melissa are glowing because we're going to see Fred again tonight.
We're going to see Fred again tonight.
We're so excited.
We're so excited. I actually want to
life.
say I used to not listen to like EDM or house music at all, and since she passed, that music really, because that's what Shay liked and Chrissy, and that music really just, I don't know. I became...
It's healing.
Music
is healing no matter what you're listening to. But.
Yeah, but I don't know. That music was very comforting to me because it reminded me of Shay, and I think I grew to love it.
I feel like even with me, like going to see like Son Holo is like that like brings me home to Shay almost. Like I just feel like I'm with her when I'm listening to like all her favorite music.
Yeah, for sure. And so I would love, you know, I know she's watching down, and for her to see this moment that Chrissy and I are going to Fred again is so funny because if you told us that like 2 years ago, we would not believe you.
Who's Melissa? Who?
Melissa's coming to a rave.
Melissa, like what?
But I'm so excited. I love Fred again so much.
And it'll be so good, and it's gonna be so fun.
I think his music is really healing too.
It's like, I think he's the most beautiful and talented artist out right now. Like, I don't think anyone could ever be
No one
Fred
can
again.
top Fred.
Like Fred is so Fred. Like, I feel like he's his own genre.
Like, his name being Fred is
he's so creative.
So right.
Right. Like, he's so creative, and like, his album is literally a breakup album, and it's the most beautiful, happy, feel-good album, but it's about his heart getting broken, and you would never have known as, like, someone who's just listening until you listen to the lyrics and you're like, wow, this man was hurt, but he made such beautiful art pieces out of it.
Yeah.
Like, he's the man.
He's the man.
He's the man. I just love him.
So
I think we talked about him in the first episode, too.
We did.
And I was like, talking about Danielle, the song Danielle.
Yeah. You're like, one day we'll see.
I was like, I hope Fred hears me and makes a song out of me.
My outfit is representing his black and white album, and Chrissy's is representing his like blue and white album.
Yeah, it's like kind of weird. We're like opposites.
Yeah, but it's gonna be really
We
cute.
didn't plan that either. It
We
just
didn't.
happened.
It just happened. It was meant to be.
Yeah.
So we had another concert that we were supposed to go to last night, but it got canceled.
Yeah.
So honestly, we were kind of not like happy, but we were okay with it.
We're like, let's rest for Fred because he's not canceled.
No.
And we could save all our energy for him.
Exactly.
What was your little thing this week? That was such a cute giggle. You said,
my little thing. This is my little thing because I actually had a horrible week. I won't lie. And I can't find very many little things.
Aww.
But one little thing was yesterday. Chrissy obviously came over, and then our concert got canceled. So I just texted one of my coworkers, who's like, he's also just one of my best friends. He moved like super close to me, so just texted him to come over, and he came over, and we had a great night.
We had so much fun.
Yeah, so that
like
made
meant
me
to
happy.
Be. Like everything,
Yeah.
Our concert got canceled, so we could hang out with him.
Yeah.
We could go to Bippity Boop.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called, which was really
Exactly.
good. And just have a great time.
Yeah.
We had so much fun.
And maybe another little thing is...
I love how we tell two now.
Yeah, we can just do two, just to add more. We hung up Susan, so...
Yeah, look at Susan's bat.
And we hung up some other paintings, so that made me happy. You, Chrissy, what was your little thing?
My little thing would probably have to be one of my parents messaged me and told me how like proud she is that her son is like speaking more.
Aww.
And she's like saying how like she heard so many new words from him this weekend, and like how he keeps talking, and like there's full sentences, because when I met him in January, he could only say like a few words. Like when he would talk, it was never a sentence, it was always one word. He didn't acknowledge people around him.
Yeah.
And like now, like all week, he would not stop talking to me. He got off the bus yesterday and he was like, I'm going to the movies this weekend. Like told me like that whole sentence on his own, and then told me what movie, what day it came out, like all the things, and who he's going with. And that was crazy. And like I was just like walking around the room, and he randomly goes, I love you. And I was like, oh my god, like who is that? And he was like saying like thank you to all the kids with their names, which is just huge.
Stop. That's adorable.
Yeah, it is adorable. And I just like, it's been a very hard year, but to see little like achievements like that, like that's like a little win, like
for sure,
it makes it all worth it, even though it has been really hard. Like I've been struggling with feeling like nobody's learning in my room because it's so hard.
Yeah.
And like that just shows me there is improvements like being had.
For sure.
And the kids are like getting help that they need.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just been a crazy year. So like that was like my hope. I was like, oh my gosh, everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I love that.
So yeah, that's my little thing this week.
Do you have another one?
My other one is Susan as well. I just love her.
Yeah, just a simple one. We love Susan.
We love Susan. Like, if you don't love Susan, get out.
We actually, if anyone's still listening, Susan, we found out Susan's a real person.
Oh yeah, we forgot to tell them.
Yeah. So she is painted after an artist named Joan.
Right.
And
I feel a little weird about that.
Yeah.
But it's still Sue's.
It's still Sue's, but
maybe that's your grandma painting her.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm just trying to guess.
I don't know. My grandma had a very interesting mind with her
I love
art.
it.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try to start painting. That'd be a cool practice. Yeah. Mindful practice.
Yeah. Painting's nice.
We could try to be just like her.
Let's
have a Susan competition.
Okay.
We could like pod while we do it.
I would love to paint. I like to paint.
Can you imagine if we like had a Susan competition? Like who could do it better?
I would love to paint just like my grandma. I think her art is so cool.
Let's do another little thing.
Yeah.
I got to work the other day and I noticed the leaves were falling. And I was like, no way, it's fall. Like, I was like, that's so cool. The leaves are falling.
I love fall.
I don't know why. Like, I just thought it was so cool.
It's such a cool feeling.
Seeing leaves, like, like rain like falling out of the tree.
Yeah.
And it's a big, big tree, but I was just like, wow, it's falling. It's
Yeah.
raining leaves. Let's go.
It's raining leaves. To get ready
Can
for
anyone
Fred.
take us seriously in our Dr. Pepper shirts?
Thanks for watching Stay
And Slay.
with Mel.
And Chrissy.
And as always,
stay vibrant.